EU crypto regulations are being undermined by a lack of enforcement. And so in this video, we're going to look at how the European Union's markets in crypto assets or MiCA regulation is being phased in, but regulators have reportedly been inconsistent in enforcing existing laws. Today's episode is sponsored by Cake Wallet, where you can send, receive, and even exchange your crypto right from within the wallet. Cake Wallet is open source and non-custodial, so you control your own private keys. Available today on iOS, macOS, Android, and Linux. And StealthEX, a privacy-centric crypto exchange which enables you to make crypto-to-crypto exchanges anonymously. Good afternoon, everybody, and a warm welcome again back to Enter Crypto with me, Chris Kenyon. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the EU's crypto regulations. This is, of course, the markets in crypto assets or MiCA regulation. They're phasing it in now, but unfortunately for them, they don't seem to be able to actually enforce these new laws. And so let's just quickly read through this article. As always, we'll make it quick and see what we can learn, see what it's all about, and then we'll comment after. So the European Union's flagship crypto legislation passed in 2023 is coming into effect this year, but pre-existing legislation has not been enforced evenly. This is according to John Helgi Egilsson, the chair and founder of Monerium, a licensed e-money issuer operating in the region. According to Egilsson, the new regulations, the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, are built upon the EU's Electronic Money Directive, or EMD2, which has been flouted for years. Egilsson expressed dismay at the general state of enforcement and how it impacts e-money firms in the region. If you issue e-money, you have to be licensed as an e-money institution, Egilsson said. If you don't, then you're subject to fines and jail time. This is the situation as Egilsson reads it, but as he explained, not everyone faces the same level of scrutiny. We're competing with companies both in Europe and outside of Europe which are doing similar things, but they haven't received any license. While that might be enough to concern e-money issuers, in some ways becoming licensed only creates additional problems. Egilsson said, as a licensed entity, you are restricted what you can do, how you can promote it, how you can solicit it. Yeah, you have to submit reports, and then the regulator comes back and says, you're not doing this. Therefore, becoming a licensed issuer with regulatory oversight involves a lot of overhead and cost. But while Monerium operates under close regulatory scrutiny, other forms of money, including stablecoins, do not. I think it's remarkable that regulators somehow allow this to happen and have been allowing this for years now, said a clearly unhappy Egilsson. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, we do cover Europe, we cover the US, and we cover the UK primarily. And the EU are really going to run into some problems, just like any other government out there that's trying to regulate money. And this is that crypto is on its own immutable, and it's almost unregulated. It's very difficult to regulate, if not impossible, on its own. So if I want to send Bitcoin to somebody, there's nothing that the government can do to get in between that transaction. Just as if I wanted to give somebody a gold coin, there's just nothing they can do. They have to physically arrest me, physically detain me or take me into custody and the other person to stop that exchange. And so if everyone's doing that, that just becomes obviously unenforceable, or you just can't police that. You can't just arrest every single person. And so really all they can do is focus on the on-ramps and off-ramps to crypto. So they regulate and create these new laws around companies and businesses, because that's how we're going to buy the crypto and we're going to sell the crypto. And so that's how they get us. If we all decide, this is why it's so important for adoption that we actually transact in Bitcoin or transact in cryptos, other cryptocurrencies like Monero or even ETH or anything like that, because once we transact in that and we're paying for goods and services, the government have no power anymore. They can't get in the way of that. And also, if you're careful about how you store your Bitcoin and store your crypto, it's also pretty much unconfiscatable. It's a bit like gold in a way, even though I know you can physically take gold from somebody. If that person buries the gold and he's the only person that knows where that's buried, and if he's done it in a way that's nobody's sort of followed him, it becomes impossible to get that gold back or to get him to tell other than to torture him. And he might not even give you it anyway. So again, gold is another very, very similar traits to crypto in that it takes the power away from the government. The problem with gold is that whilst it's a fantastic store of value, especially long term, if you want to keep your savings in physical gold, it's great, especially 20, 30 years or maybe even to give to your kids. But it doesn't transact well. It's not a good medium of exchange, especially for small items, And this is where fiat currencies or government currencies like the pound, the euro, they kind of win over gold because they allow us to transact in 1 cent or 1 pence or 2p. You can play some very, very small denominations with gold. That's, impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but it's not practical, shall we say. And really, silver does a better job of that. But with cryptocurrency, we have the best of both worlds. We can store our money and, well, in crypto, really, I think people are going to be seeing Bitcoin over time more of a store of wealth. So digital gold is often the narrative that gets pushed with Bitcoin. I know the narratives around Bitcoin change constantly, but I think that's one that is going to stick. And other cryptocurrencies like Monero are going to be the medium of exchange that people are going to use, very similar to cash, because it's completely anonymous and it's so cheap to use. It's literally less than a cent to send. It's like 1/3 of a cent to send a transaction on Monero, and it's completely private. And this all comes back down to the fact that governments have never ever had competition like this. We've got cryptocurrencies that are taking on particular traits, like Bitcoin being a store of wealth. I know the fees are expensive at certain times, but it is still a great store of wealth. You've got Monero, which is super private. You've got Ethereum with the smart contracts. You've got things like Cardano and Polkadot that are doing decentralized identities and voting system and governance. And so, it's making the government currencies look deaf and dumb, really. And they just look inferior to crypto. Now, this is all going to change once CBDCs come out, and we're going to see what happens here. Whether people are going to choose to use the CBDC, or whether they're going to choose to use crypto, or whether it may be both. Maybe people are going to use both. So that'll be interesting to see it all play out. That's all from me today, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any future updates. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.